Okay, Muffin here with Rock Your Socks. How's it going, everyone? In my previous video, I forgot to go over something pretty important. The reason why we're going in to this shop and buying these random blueprint chests is because we are trying to get multiple pieces of gear on our march. So the best way to get multiple pieces for a specific march is to buy these random, and then you're going to start to build up pieces for a specific piece of equipment. When you start getting close, you have to start paying attention to specific events like Holy Knight's Treasure, all right, commonly that called the egg event. I think it looks like a testicle, just to be honest, not an egg, but you could get specific blueprints by choice, right? There's still some random factor to this, so you have to be careful and plan this out. So what I was doing was I would skip buying the random chests like a week or two before Holy Knight's Treasure or the testicle event, whatever you want to call it, the egg event, ball dropping event. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So I actually prefer a different event. This one's pretty good because it's relatively cheap for your gems, and you're guaranteed to get choice chests for whatever item that you picked. Like if it was a helmet, this would be a helmet. If it was boots with the fur, like you be boots with the fur. So you want to pay attention to this. Personally, I love the egg event, but I get super moist for the hammer event. So the hammer, I like the hammer because it has potential to be even cheaper than the Holy Knight's Treasure if you get lucky. So you figure this is going to cost you 4,800 gems. For 0 gems, if you get lucky, you could get 8 blueprint pieces instead of the guaranteed 5. But I mean, like, that's super lucky. But you could buy 100 extra hammers for 20,000 gems, and you're going to be accumulating lots of stuff that you will need in your account, like materials, um, speed ups, right? You're going to be getting stuff that you need. I'm not saying that you won't get stuff that you need from here, but I mean, we'll open like 300 here and we'll get a 50%. All right, so we got some resources. Resources are always good for a free to play, low spender. But we'll open 5. I don't really need anything from this egg event currently. Oh my god, we got super ass lucky here and we got 10. Right, because on my second set of gear, I am looking to upgrade to iconic level tier 2 on certain things, but I just want to go over like, hey, we need to plan our gem spending, making sure that we're working towards equipment for our march that we have good armaments for. And when you're re-rolling your armaments, you might get lucky and get like 4 for a specific troop type, and then you could immediately start going into the equipment. But today I really want to talk about commanders. All right, so like this game is like crazy anymore. It's like absolutely batshit. It seems like the new commanders are coming out so frequently, so frequent. Like it used to be like 6 months, right? Now it's like every 3 months, and probably shortly it's gonna be like every 2 months. You'll have a new set of commanders, which makes sense because now they implemented the ranged, so they have even more. So you have like your infantry, your archers, your cavalry, your leadership, and your ranged. So I mean, like it's about every 2 months you're going to be seeing a new set of commanders, and with the power creep in the game, this is why I'm saying like, don't invest in commanders right now. Like the ones that you have are good enough. All right, so like when you'll like see other content providers like putting out videos where they're testing like this March against the previous meta and trying different combos out. And if you pay attention to that, those aren't necessarily like perfect scenarios. When you're going out in KVK and you're combating another opponent out there in the field with your alliance, how often do you see a one-on-one fight? And I'll tell you, it's never. The only time you're going to see a one-on-one fight was when it's a pre-arranged duel. When you have people like this, like I guarantee I go LKC and I can see like probably like trade right here, trade 10 million T1, right? Trading 10 million T1 is not why we play this game, right? I want to get everyone in a position where we're going to play this game and it's going to be competitive, but it takes some time, some patience, right? If you want to put on the Guns N' Roses right now, be my guest, but throw on the patience, all right? And we're going to work towards this, all right? So you have your release of commanders, all right? And you usually can see like down here, all right? Like, well, it's coming out. So I don't really recommend like every commander for every player. All right, so we're already going to come to terms with like we're not going to get a lot of heads from MGE. Like if we're lucky, we might perform really well in a KVK and get a first place, all right, or second place, something like that, which is really going to help your account out. But right now we're just hoarding heads. And the reason why is like you can see like a commander like Scipio Emilianus. He's coming out. Right, we just got Belisarius Prime. It seems like 2 weeks ago, right? So like you're just wasting your heads right now, because like when you see these duels on these, you're talking like 1,500, right? Like difference in the reports. So I mean like that for us is going to be negligible because our primary role, until we get to the position where we're out there fielding our 3 marches, 4 marches, right? Once it's going to be a build-up. So at first we're going to be throwing out 3 marches. Then we're going to be throwing out 4. Then we could throw out 5, right? But, I mean, that's so far down the line. And if your VIP is a high enough level, you're going to be getting 3 heads a day. And while we're waiting, right, they're going to be releasing more and more commanders. They're going to be coming out. So, like, that's why I'm saying put your commanders on a back burner. Because when we're ready, we're going to open up full throttle. It's going to be 0 to 100 in 3 seconds, baby. Fast and the Furious. Let's fucking go. All right? That's what it's going to feel like. All right? So, when we go out there, we're going to go out there. And what we want to do is like perform for our kingdom, right? That's why we play this. This is Rise of Kingdoms. We go into kingdom versus kingdom, right? That's the goal of the game, right? I want to see you go out there and perform well. So that's why I'm like going over this stuff, right? There's a couple other things that aren't too crazy. Everyone should know this. Like in the meantime, right? Like it's gonna take you a while to accumulate these blueprints for these pieces of equipment. So like you want to make sure that you're getting materials and stockpiling them. All right, a lot of people like when it's more than gems, right? Or you know, like currently alliance mobilizations going on, like they'll take gem events. But I'm telling you, like this is 1.5 million VIP points to go from 17 to 18. It's a pipe dream. You might as well go live your ass down at the Carter, right? You don't want to set your goal for VIP 18. Like, especially, like, if you're free to play, like, it's okay not to have a high VIP level. Because we're going to be filling rallies with our 4th, filling garrisons with our 5th march. Right? That's how we're going to get our KP right now. We want to perform for our kingdoms. I also have a lot of people, like, they'll go in as free to play and they're like, oh, I don't get MGEs. I don't get a lot of extra sculptures, right? Or, so you have events like this where you have Lord of War, all right? And, like, you'll see the rankings here and you'll be like, oh, yeah, I could get a first place, right? But you have to take into consideration that right now, most kingdoms go by DKP system. So your power is being calculated into this, and you need to factor that into the equation. So, like, if you're, like, coming in here and you can only get 4 million kills, and then you're going into these troop training events to get universal sculptures, I suggest you hold on to those. Like, especially, like, your, you should hold on to your training speed ups and not compete in those events, because you're going to put yourself in a bad spot where you're dropping this line in the Alliance chat. Hey, where could I get passports? Right? And then you're going to get all the a-holes and dickwads out there going, yo, fucking New World Bundle, bud. New World Bundle. You don't want to be in that position. Right? You want to stick with your crew and keep working through the struggles. Alright? So, training troops isn't going to help. They're as a free-to-play low spender, what you want to be training your troops on are pre-KVK and doing your Bastion quests. But when you're doing these, you have to be active, because you're going to put yourself in a position where if you can't migrate, you're going to end up being zero. Alright, so the way you do that is you go out there, you take your extra troops from your pre-KVK training and your Bastion quests, or if you have them in that type of KVK, and you're dumping them into your forts, your flags, filling rallies with those extra troops, and you're killing them off. And as you're killing them off, you're going to be accumulating these kills here, where you're going to get your iconic crystals. So, I mean, whenever you're filling, you're not going to get a ton of KP. But if at the end of KVK, you end up with just your T4 troops left, I think that's a victory, because you're most likely only have enough T4 troops to field your barb killing marches. So, like, you're pretty much zero already. Like, if you don't perform, you're not going to be asking for passport pages. Alright, and then, well, like I said, we're playing the long-term game here as we're accumulating our armaments and getting those special equipment, special inscriptions on them. We're going to be slowly building up our blueprint choice chests, right, and our materials, and then we're going to be gung-ho full throttle, because at the same time we're accumulating our universal sculptures to invest in commander skills, and when we're ready for that troop type, we're going to be able to max whatever commander is released, and it's not going to be a big deal to us, because most MGE commanders are either rally or garrison lead, so we're not really worried about the MGE ones. We want to be able to max the commanders that come on the wheel, and we want to keep working our gems towards getting better and better and better equipment. The equipment is one of the best things in the game. Alright, it's never goes out of style. It's like Jordan in his prime. Right? Like, I definitely recommend always working towards bettering your equipment. Do whatever event that you can to get equipment, materials, or blueprint patterns. Make sure that you do those. Alright, because, like, a lot of this stuff is going to take a lot of blueprints and materials, because you figure, like, if you're going to eventually take something up to iconic tier 5, it gets kind of crazy. So, like, I'll show you one. Like, it's just like right here, like, it's going to take 60 legendary sculptures to take these Dragon's Breath Tacits up to iconic tier 5. Right, where when you're taking something to iconic tier 3 or 4, right, like, you're talking 15, 25. right? It's a hell of a lot less. Like in your accessories insane. This is 100. So, and that's just for one accessory. So like you want to be building your equipment pretty level. So like your infantry march, you want to start taking those to iconic level 2. All right, then your archer march, iconic level 2, your cavalry, iconic level 2. So when you're fielding these freshly maxed out commanders, you're going to be in a good spot. Like you're going to be in a great spot actually, because a lot of people aren't building that. They're doing something like I'm doing, but I do it for a different reason. I like to rally things. I don't have a free to play account. I mean, I don't really put a ton of money in the game, but I do put a little bit. So what I'm constantly working towards is, and I'll tell you exactly what I do. All right, so what I do right now is like I quit doing the VIP shop right now. All right, like you'll see, I have not purchased like for the archers. I have not got those because I'm at the end game for my rally march. All right, like I'm at the point where I just need materials, and as I do events like the egg and the archaeological dig, like that's what I need because I need specific blueprint patterns because my all my stuff is at iconic level 2, and I have stuff that's at iconic level 5, and I have stuff that's iconic level 4 where I have the blueprints to go to 5. It's just my constraint right now is materials. So what I usually do, I only spend like a very little when I'm not in KVK. All right, so like what I do, I go in, I get the supply depot, and I usually buy this every week. So I mean that's usually what I'm buying. I don't typically get the daily special offer anymore. I used to get a lot more. Like I get it from time to time, but I'm primarily gathering gems, right, to accumulate my gems and using those towards buying materials right now. All right, so it's like Alliance mobilization right now. So I was using my gems during gem quests here and buying materials because, like I said, I need materials, and I'm kind of waiting for Hammer event to improve. So like right now with my commanders, I know what's being asked of me for my commanders, so I'm gonna do whatever I need to do for my current kingdom. All right, so like I'm currently starting to hoard heads for specific commanders. All right, a lot of kingdoms are probably in our kingdom shape where we need more garrisons. All right, like I do have like Dido, but I don't have Hera, so I'm kind of leaning towards getting Hera because you're talking, it's probably another 8 months before the new set of archer commanders come out. So like right now I'm kind of like in waiting, right? I want to see how William performs, but like I said, like my commanders for infantry are good enough right now. I have the Guan, I have the Luce, so like I have Scipio Prime. Like my commanders are good enough right now where if William's performing slightly better in combination with Luce, like it's not going to be world breaking to me. Right? I kind of want to like see what's going to happen with the next release of Archer Commanders because that's the path that I'm on currently. All right, like it's just weird how crazy lucky I got with armaments out the gate. All right, like my legendary inscription, I swear to God, was like my second armament pull. Like it's like God mode with it. Like it's not, but there's no reason why you can't get this stuff. All right, so like my armaments kind of dictated like I'm going archer, like I'm stuck in archer, like I keep doing the same thing over and over, and I am like now moved on to like infantry. All right, cavalry is like slightly worse when it comes to armament, so I'm not too like crazy about doing like cavalry commanders. As you could see, Like I got Huo, I spin it, just trying to accumulate heads, just in case something gets crazy, right? I never did XY, no Chandra, right? And when you come down here and we go to the cavalry, you'll see like I got pretty much the basic. Like Saladin, like I know my Saladin's expertise, but I did that because when we were in KVK2, I had to rally with Saladin, so I expertised him with some heads and Nevsky's expertise. So you'll see like I have my William at 5551, my Gent, alright, I unlocked him for Bastion skill to get the rewards, and I have Bertrand for the same reason, right? My Joan, 5-1, right? I think I'm going to lean towards spinning Joan, just to get the few extra sculptures, like 10 times. All right, my Attila 5000. Right, like I don't have enough sculptures to even put on another Attila skill, and like I said, like my current heads are kind of in the rebuilding stage, right? Because I maxed Asher for this KVK to rally for my kingdom, right? But like I said, like you see kind of what I'm doing. Like I'm kind of waiting to see the power creep and how things turn out with the armaments. Because right now, like I kind of am a little stuck with infantry. So like when you look at my armaments, like this is okay. Like it's nothing. It's not like I'm gonna go out there and be like, yo, check out my armaments or on my Guan. They're sick, bruh. No, I'm not gonna do that. And come down to my LC, like you see, like I even got some purples on here, but I got 3 inscriptions on them. But I'm about to start, working this arch formation a little bit more. Just in case I'm like garrisoning a lot, because it'll come in handy in the garrison. All right, so like I'm just being patient, seeing how things pan out. Like not working any equipment, which you'll be in a better spot than I am. All right, because like when you look at a player like me, you're like, oh, he's got some good stuff, right? But just think, like, when you go into Iconic this stuff, like, you're talking 15, and I need to put 60 to 100. Like, you could be putting a whole tier level on a march, and right now I'm kind of stuck until I get it done. All right, so, like, that's things that you need to think about. So, like, when you think, like, hey, like, I'm rallying, like, I got some good stuff, right? But I have a trade-off here where my other marches are suffering. All right, so, like, you got to look at that. I mean, but when my march is done for rally, like, I'm going right back to this system for infantry. All right, because I think infantry is my second. And cavalry, I don't care. I really use those just to fill rallies or garrisons for that troop type. So, like right now, I have my goals. All right, my goal is to keep working my equipment for archers and wait for new archer release. All right, and if I get my archer march done before my rally march done before the new release of archer commanders, I'm going to start working my infantry equipment, start boosting that equipment's iconic level to 2, and so on, right, for my marches. That way I can feel okay. But you're going to go out there with your 3-4 marches with all iconic 2, 3, 4, 2 or 3 ideally on it, and you're going to go out there and be fighting maybe a guy that you think is a whale, and they have no iconics on their equipment, or have 1 iconic level on it, and you're going out there with 2 or 3. Like, you're going to be performing quite well, and especially when you invest in these power crept new release commanders. All right, so like you'll be okay. Just get this plan, find out the little niches that are going to work for you, right? What you like to do. Like I said, like some people prefer the egg drop, right? Some people like the dig. Some people like the puzzle box. I don't like the puzzle box. All right, so like you find out what is going to work for you, how you want to get your patterns, right? But like I said, until you get like iconic level 2 on multiples, right, or when you're getting close to being able to put an iconic level on a specific piece, you need to stop with the randoms, right, and wait for the dig or the egg event so that you could get those specific blueprint pieces that you need to put that iconic level, right? And then like just keep working up those sculptures and let's go. Let's smash people. All right, thanks for coming by.